What's going on, campers? Chopsy Doodle here, coming at you with another deck building video. We're going to continue our trend of ignoring dual type lanterns, because what are those? And we're going to make a Meteorite Obsidian deck today. I already have the ingredients laid out for you. We've got our 5 of each lantern, we've got our 3 of each trail. Then our main deck consists of various things, which will be a lot easier to visualize as actual cards. So let's go ahead and switch that over. Now we can actually see the cards. Alright, so what is this deck? What is it trying to accomplish? What are its strengths? What are its weaknesses? To start off, you can either go with Mothman or the Flatwoods, or even the other Mothman as your unique, whichever one you choose. But I'm going with the Kickstarter Mothman, the one that makes it so that when you find EV exploring with Obsidian Cryptid, you get an additional one. Now, what is this deck? This deck is essentially a control deck, where you can sometimes get a little extra from your Mothman, from your Obsidian Cryptids. The Meteorite Cryptids here, for the most part, serve for blocking, although there's a couple of cool plays you can make, like the Van Meter Visitor. If you have one in your hand and you're able to play one, you can essentially use 2 in the same turn. It's pretty good. And the Mars Golem is just really good because he makes it so that all Meteorite trails gain the Meteorite type, and Meteorite Cryptids have +2 attack and +3 defense. So it's going to help defensively because we've got our Napa Rebobs, and the Mars Golem himself also has 7 defense already, so that'll bring him up to 10 just being on a trail, any trail. Now, another big thing is Supernatural Campfire. This is actually huge for this deck because it can be used to play either Obsidian or Meteorite cards. But this can obviously be used to play any of your big guys. Now, the one big guy which you could consider actually putting a second one in and taking something else out, because it is very good, just very high cost. But Supernatural Campfire used with the UFO is a no-brainer. You get a 6 cost for 4, and if you have your Clear Sky out, you can choose up to 2 of your rivals' cryptids and swap their locations, and then as well as you can choose a cryptid and equip it to this, essentially removing it from the region until this goes away, which at that point I think it dies as well. Yeah, the equipment leaves the region. Of course, you're going to have your classic wish-fulfilling jewel. Now, the one thing you might notice about this is I don't have any CZOs from either color, actually. I just have the campers. I didn't find that CZOs really were helping with this specific deck build, so I kind of left them out. This is also a deck where we can manipulate the opponent's positions as well, like with the UFO, as well as raiding with the Van Meteor and the Jersey Devil. So the Jersey Devil is a good counter to Lapis if it actually switches both rows. I'm still trying to figure out if that's how it fully functions, but I'm pretty sure, because it says when you play this cryptid, choose a rival front row, move any cryptids in it to the nearest back row, and then until the end of day, rival cryptids in the front row have -3 attack. So if you were to move 3 cryptids to 3 empty spots in the back row and then give -3 to the front row, it's not really doing anything. So I don't feel like they would build the card like that, and that tells me that it actually pushes the front row and will squeeze the back row into the front if there is any there. Now, the other part of the control of this deck is we have Krampus. It can use its adventure action to just defeat a level 2 or lower cryptid. Pretty useful skill, especially if you can get him out with an elemental camp or a supernatural campfire, or a Bruja de Capital, which is another reason why I built this deck, because with Bruja you can essentially give anything Swift. So you can be playing out Van Meteor with Swift, which means that you can, if you have one in your hand, if you have two in your hand, you can play one out, raid right away, and it'll automatically play your second one. And then just, Swift on any cryptid is really good. That's essentially what this gives, because it says this cryptid may use its adventure actions, so it can immediately play a cryptid from your hand into your camp. When you play it from your hand into your camp, it can use actions right away. The other big part of the control are these two right here. Destroy the Ego is really good. You can choose a cryptid, switch it to attack mode, which also helps with getting EV, because you can force your opponent into attack mode, meaning if you defeat their cryptid, then you will receive EV. But you can also have it explore a site within its range, and it can't switch battle modes. Now, this can be used for several different things, but this can actually be used to kill two cryptids at once. If you have an opponent that has two cryptids with equal attack stat next to each other, you can have one explore into the other, and they'll mutually destroy each other. Or you can also just use this to have your cryptid explore again, because you can choose any cryptid. So you can use this on your own cryptid. You can use it on an opponent's cryptid, whatever you want. Skullcap. Now we've got a lot of like weaker monsters, like the Rebob and the Nightcrawlers and stuff like that, and the Moneymans, and the Brujas as well. But with Skullcap, every time something on your field dies, you put tokens on it, and then you can just remove tokens to remove an opposing cryptid. So that's more of the control aspect. And of course you have Mothman as well. You have all your essential tools. You've got your Obsidian Vara, so to generate Obsidian. You have your Meteorite to generate Meteorite. The traps are pretty decent. You may look at the hand and entities of a camper who encounters this and gain 1 EV. If this trap is encountered on a Meteorite trail, you may pay 1 additional Meteorite to also swap an allied Meteorite cryptid with a Meteorite cryptid in your hand. Now this one is huge because you can swap any one of these lower ones with like a Flatwoods or a UFO, which gives more credence to, like, if you really want to, you could probably take out maybe this Mothman or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe even these, because these are okay. But this is a form of card draw. While equipped, if a rival cryptid enters a site in this column, or if an environment enters the region, draw 1 card. So it's a little bit of card draw. Other than that, swap's always a good card, but you could always remove one of these for another UFO if you wanted. The more I look at it, the more I think that a second UFO might fit in here pretty well, and you can put 2 in, which is nice. So it's basically about holding off your opponent, keeping their board thin until you can play your bigger guys and go for the win. And if you ever end up playing your Mothman out, then all of your Obsidian cryptids are going to be getting double EV. So, but yeah, that's about it for this one. Don't know if I have a name for it. Guess we'll call it the Dark Side of the Moon. I don't know. I forgot to mention why the last deck was called Fresh Baked Cookies, by the way. It was because it was Corallium and because the gingerbread cookies were in the deck with the Sweet Tooth Witch. That's actually why. But yeah, I totally forgot to even mention that. Yeah, other than that, you have your weather as well, and your Nightcrawlers are your weather fetchers. And I took special care to not require to have anything that required night on the Obsidian side, so that way you could run just straight sky fog weather and get the benefit from the sky and fog, or sorry, from the sky for your Meteorite cryptids, because I felt like those benefits were better for this deck. But yeah, let me know what you think. I haven't tried it out yet, but I am dying to, so I'm gonna try and play some games soon, get them recorded, and we'll see how these decks turn out. But thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you, and happy camping. Peace.